This year, I turned 35 years old and I'm still unemployed, quote unquote. It's been 11 years since I graduated in 2012 with a bachelor's degree in microbiology. Am I living my dream life? Definitely not. Let me take you a few years back to my childhood. I was born a star, excessively brilliant in primary school, which is like elementary school here in Kenya. Looking back, I'm nostalgic of all those wins early in life. When you're a choppy, you are every teacher's favorite in school and your parents' pride at home. You get lots of favors, you get lots of friends too, and who doesn't want to associate with success anyway? Just kidding. Kids are the sweetest, making friends regardless of background. But I did come in handy for those hard mathematical problems for sure. In KCPE, which is the national exams for transitioning to high school in Kenya, I was leading from a humble government-sponsored school. To celebrate, my parents allowed me to choose anything I love. And guess what I wanted? 2 kgs of groundnuts. A gorogoro of groundnuts. Crazy, right? In my defense, I really loved groundnuts back then. I still do. And because I couldn't get enough of them, it was my opportunity to have a feast of groundnuts. High school was a breeze. I cruised through, hitting high grades throughout the 4 years without much struggle. Once again, I came in second during KCPE, the national exams that determine transition to university. I was over the moon with my clean A minus, which is like the second best level that anyone could attain. It's a record that remains unbeaten in my extended family still, I believe. Now, the philosophy I grew up believing was always in my favor. Most Kenyan students of my time can attest to the constant reminders from both parents and teachers alike that good grades were the gateway to a great life. I never knew failure since childhood, and my grades kept favoring me, even in campus. So I was, in my mind, set for a great future. My future was bright. I needed sunglasses. I could see it. I wanted to be a dentist at some point, but because my grades couldn't allow me to get into the dentistry school or do the dentistry course, I went for microbiology. I must admit that I was misinformed. I never really knew what microbiology is. And nowadays, even when I tell someone that I studied microbiology, it's always blank face because not most people know exactly what a microbiologist does. But it sounded great. And when I looked at it, it looked like something in the line of medicine. And so I went for it. Still, I performed highly in campus, although it was quite hard. My grades kept favoring me, even in campus. When I graduated in 2012, I knew I was about to reap the fruits of my 844 struggle. Finally, I got my papers ready and started applying for every job I qualified for, and there were many. To increase my chances, I subscribed to various job alert sites online. I even paid some agents in Nairobi, Kenya to help me get a job. The few chances I had are some that if you're in Kenya you may relate to if you've tarmacked for long, because some people got lucky, but for a majority I know tarmacking is a reality. M Global is one of them, where you're given a great promise and you go with the papers ready to start working because it's like a training or something. And boy, oh boy, if you know, you know. I also went for Oriflame. Oriflame was another marketing agency that was promising to give you a good return for every product you sell, but those products were so expensive I didn't know who to sell them to. And marketing, me? No. I'm a scientist. I didn't study for this. I was not prepared for this. Must admit that my life skills were very low because, I've been into books. The books that were supposed to be the key to my great future. And so I let those pass. And because no job offers were coming my way, I had a professional look over my resume. Maybe I was not choosing the right format or letting people know exactly my worth. And so my resume was edited and reformatted. And I kept applying for jobs. Surely my papers could speak for me, right? Right? An A minus in high school, a second class in college. That's good enough, don't you think? I got the biggest shock of my life. The formula had been wrong all along. Because tell me, why will they insist that all I needed were excellent grades in primary to get to a good school? Excel in high school to get to college, get a good score in university, to get a great job and a great future. And I was here with all these great scores, done with 844, and the door remained closed. This gets me emotional. It was really emotional for me at that point. The struggle was real because I had this formula that was not working. I was not equipped for anything else in life, and this door remained closed. I did get lucky at some point, and I was given a job offer, but then I've never been so broke. It was a private pharmaceutical organization where I was the microbiologist. Big title, yes. I felt lucky. I felt like this is it. But then the first month went well. We were paid. The second one, we were paid half. The third one, there was no payment. And the fourth and the fifth. I just had to quit. Broken quit. I was broken, of course. The formula I was groomed for all along stopped working at the last stage. Was this the greatest deception of our century? Tell me down below in the comments. Meeting failure as an adult for the first time is not sweet. It's heartbreaking. You pray for your papers to get noticed and seek notable connections all in vain. It does a number on your self-esteem. A taste of brokenness as you tarmac to. What will your classmates who envied your grades say? This keeps ringing in your head as you try once again. So I decided to take another leap of faith in the direction that wasn't really working. I went for my master's. With a master's, the chances of getting employed will be higher, right? Still, that extra paper didn't seem to persuade the right employees. So I decided to change course. Surely the teaching profession is always hiring in Kenya, right? So I went in for a postgraduate diploma in education. This must be it now, right? We are now here. Stage to showcase, and you. Wrong. TC needs you to add more subjects to qualify for registration. Really? At 35? It's been hard small. Are you in Kenya, Africa, or anywhere in the world and you can relate to this? How is the unemployment rate in your country? Let's share those experiences down in the comments below. This is my story. As I look through my brilliant papers, I'm reminded of the good experiences I had in my educational journey. But in life, we've got to put them aside. Sadly, they're now lying in my drawer, and I'm now in the school of life. You got to do what you got to do to survive.